I show you what is my favorite gut healing protein shake smoothie to break the fast or as a snack or after your workout. So the first most important thing is you don't want to break the fast with a high carbohydrate breakfast. You want to use what is called a PFF breakfast. Welcome everybody, thank you for joining. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I brought you to my lab, to my kitchen today because as an IBS expert, I want to teach you in here how to make, I'm about to make it for myself. Here is very early morning in Hawaii, it's 8 a.m. Hawaii time. And I'm about to prepare my morning smoothie. So I thought, why I don't bring you all to my kitchen and I show you what is my favorite gut healing protein shake smoothie to break the fast or as a snack or after your workout. So the first most important thing is you don't want to break the fast with a high carbohydrate breakfast. You want to use what is called a PFF breakfast. A PFF breakfast is protein, fat, and fiber. Because if you break the fast with a high carbohydrate shake, you are gonna give a huge spike of insulin to the body, glucose is gonna start raising, and only 20% of that glucose is transformed into energy in the form of glycogen. The rest is going to be transformed in triglycerides, cholesterol, and fat accumulation. So best way to regulate your blood sugar levels in the morning is with a PFF breakfast. So you want to break the fast with a shake that is PFF and also help you in healing your gut. Is good for digestion. It's going to help in healing your gut lining if you suffer from any gastrointestinal related symptoms like for example autoimmunity, joint pain, brain related disorders like anxiety, headaches, skin issues that can be related to leaky gut, or you suffer from bloating, constipation, diarrhea. So these are some of my favorite easy to digest superfoods that I add in my PFF breakfast, and I will love you if you join. If you have any questions, put it in the comments so I can go through. Or if you have any other superfood that you like to add to your shake for a good digestion, I'm open to it. So basically this is a 1 minute recipe, I call it, 1 to 2 minutes. It's gonna take us longer because I wanna explain the benefits of each of these ingredients in here, but is really easy to make. You don't even need a blender for it. If you have a frother, you can just blend it like this, or a shaker, like you put like a bowl inside, and that's it. So let's start making it. You can use as a base your warm water or warm plant-based milk. I'm not using any dairy-based product in here because when you are trying to heal from gastrointestinal inflammation, a very complex protein that we cannot digest very well and can cause more toxicity is casein from dairy. So, and if you are sensitive to FODMAP, lactose is also a carbohydrate in dairy that can cause sensitivity. So this is dairy free, so you can choose your plant-based milk, like for example almond milk, or hemp milk, or macadamia nut milk, or you can use water. And if I use water, the first superfood that I like to add that I have in here is from Laird, the brand Laird, and it's a mix of, they use it as a creamer, but this is basically a mix of coconut milk powder, coconut sugar, and also MCT oil or coconut oil. And why coconut is your best friend? Because coconut is really rich in caprylic acid and lauric acid, which are fatty acids that are antimicrobial. So if you have any bacteria overgrowth, any yeast overgrowth, using coconut, is your coconut milk is a really good addition with the powerful antimicrobial properties. Basically 1 tablespoon of coconut milk, or you can just use the coconut milk itself, or as I said, another plant-based milk. So 1 tablespoon in here, and I'm gonna shake it. Then the other thing that I like adding, and this is low carb, this smoothie that we are preparing is completely low carb, so that's why coconut is your best friend on a low carb approach. My other favorite powder that I add in a gut healing smoothie is glutamine powder. So L-glutamine is an amino acid that has been shown to be really good for enterocytes proliferation. Enterocytes are the cells important for forming the gut lining. So glutamine helps in producing more enterocytes, in keeping strong junctions within the cells. So it's really good for decreasing inflammation also in the gut. So 1 scoop of L-glutamine. You can use also collagen powder if you have collagen powder at home. But for example, for people with histamine intolerance, you may not be able to use collagen powder, but glutamine is a good addition. So I'm gonna add 1 scoop of glutamine. Perfect. Then the next one that I like to add always in my smoothie is Resveratrol. Resveratrol is an antioxidant. It's a really powerful antioxidant, eliminate free radical tissue damage and inflammation, and it's really good also for immune boosting as well. If you are fighting something or you want to prevent getting sick if you get an infection. So I'm gonna put a scoop of Resveratrol. And then more gut healing superfoods in here. These are 2 of my favorites, these 2 in here. So one of them is mushrooms, and this is what is gonna add the flavor to my smoothie. You can use, if you want to, matcha tea, cacao powder, vanilla extract to add flavor. But what I'm gonna add in here is what I call my mushroom coffee. And I like the one from Mad Water, but there are many blends out there. So this mushroom coffee is really high in mushrooms like lion mane, chaga, reishi, and all these mushrooms are really good for stamina, for energy. So it's a really good substitute for coffee that you can add into your smoothie. It's gonna give you the same push without the energy crash that you get usually with the coffee. And the other good thing about mushrooms for the gut is that mushrooms are a really good prebiotic for the beneficial bacteria in your gut. So it's gonna help the beneficial microbes growing. So I'm gonna add from here, depending on the one that you buy, the concentration, between 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon. So I'm just gonna add this here. I'm talking about prebiotics. One of my favorite additions in there that a lot of people will think is weird is potato starch. Potato starch, just 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of potato starch. And why potato starch? Potato starch is a resistant starch. The difference between regular starch and resistant starch is that resistant starch doesn't spike insulin levels and glucose levels. It's gonna be a prebiotic and is feeding the beneficial bacteria. When you eat a regular carbohydrate, goes to your small intestine, is broken down into glucose and is gonna spike insulin levels. However, resistant starch passes the small intestine, goes to the large intestine to be fuel for the beneficial bacteria. It's a prebiotic. One of the things that help fueling our gut is butyric acid. Butyric acid is a fatty acid that is produced eating foods that are high in butyric acid or increasing fiber or eating resistant starch. And butyric acid is a really good prebiotic. It's a production from some bacteria. It's a good prebiotic. It's really good for immune boosting and also for healing problems like Crohn's disease, severe IBS. However, with resistant starch, you have to be very careful if you suffer from SIBO, small intestine bacteria overgrowth, because if you have bacterial overgrowth, may cause more overgrowth. So when you heal the small intestine bacterial overgrowth, then you can put the resistant starch. So I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon, and I usually test a lot of my patients. I do a stool test whenever they have severe IBS, and many of them, they have severe inflammation. And when we see the population of bacteria and the metabolites that the bacteria are producing, some of them, they have very low bacteria that produce butyric acid, and also their butyric acid is very low, and that can cause more gastrointestinal inflammation. So adding resistant starch helps in producing butyric acid because the bacteria is gonna eat it, is gonna feed on it, and then is gonna produce butyric acid. So we are gonna add the potato starch in here. Be sure that you buy pure potato starch, unmodified, not sweetened. So as you can see, we are adding many different prebiotics, which is the food for the beneficial bacteria. The starch, the mushrooms, we add glutamine and resveratrol for decreasing inflammation in the gut and heal the gut lining. And as I mentioned before, this is a protein shake. You can just drink it like this if you want it just as a regular gut healing drink. But if you want it as a protein shake, you want to avoid all protein powders out there. Because the protein powders usually that you buy out there, they're really, really dirty. If you want a green protein shake or some recommendations from protein powder, let me know in the comments and I can send you a link for that. But most of the protein shakes out there, they are full of additives, preservatives, sweeteners that spike your insulin levels, that are causing a lot of microbes overgrowth in your gut. So you want to be sure that you are avoiding all of those. And they have starches and other ingredients that you cannot control. Like I always say, do you see a protein powder coming from the tree? No. So that means it's a processed food. Everything in between is something that we cannot control. But what you can buy is the protein itself. Like for example, here I have hemp powder, which is made from pure hemp hearts. Hemp hearts are a superfood, really rich in omega-3 fatty acids, anti-inflammatory. 3 tablespoons of hemp protein is 15 grams of protein. So if you want to buy hemp, just be sure that you buy pure organic hemp protein powder. Also other protein powders that you can buy is pea protein, plant-based, but be careful with the pea proteins. They usually come with many other fillers. You can, when you look for a pea protein, be sure that you look for organic pea protein isolate. You don't want to have the whole pea protein in there because it contains molecules that can cause gastrointestinal discomfort. You want the pea protein isolate. whenever you buy it, and you can find at the health food store pure pea protein isolate. So those are two options that you can buy for protein. If you are making this in a blender, you can just add nuts, seeds, chia seeds or hemp hearts, nut butter, so that is gonna add healthy fat or healthy protein as well. In here I'm not using the blender, so I'm just gonna add 1 to 2 tablespoons of the hemp powder. Alright, so we just shake it. And if you wanna add any extra fiber, because you have problems with constipation, I like to add some flax meal, or you can add more in the powder form that you can just shake it like this. You can add acacia powder or cellulose powder, cellulose or acacia powder. Also very good remedies for constipation is to add as well aloe vera juice. You can add aloe vera juice in here. You can add MCT oil. Those are really good laxatives that help you, also natural laxatives that help you going to the bathroom. So you could add 1/4 cup of aloe vera juice and 1 to 2 tablespoons of MCT oil, and this will be it. If you like your protein gut healing shakes sweet, but you want to avoid spiking insulin levels, the only thing that you need to add is a 0 glycemic index sweetener, like for example stevia or monk fruit. But be careful when you buy stevia or monk fruit, or allulose as well. When you buy those sweeteners, read the labels. I think I should do another video about that, how to buy a good 0 glycemic index sweetener. This is very important. Because they usually come together with dextrose or maltodextrin or sugar alcohols. If you suffer from IBS, microbes overgrowth, we don't digest sugar alcohols like erythritol, maltitol, xylitol. They cause more gastrointestinal inflammation and microbial imbalance. So be sure to avoid that. Stick to pure 100% stevia or monk fruit if you want any sweetener on it. Otherwise, here we have our shake, very simple. I'm gonna recap the ingredients that I added in here. So the first one is your nut milk, or you can use coconut milk powder. This is a blend of coconut milk powder with a little bit of coconut sugar. It's a paleo alternative, and also coconut oil. Then I added as prebiotic potato starch and mushrooms. For gut healing and decreasing inflammation, L-glutamine if you suffer from histamine intolerance. Otherwise, you can put collagen powder and resveratrol. For protein, I added hemp powder, but you can add also pea protein isolate, or blend it with your favorite nuts, seeds, or nut butter. For sweetener, stevia or monk fruit, and if you need to push your bowel movement, you can add aloe vera juice and MCT oil. So I hope this has been helpful and you give it a try. I would love to hear. Let me know if you have any question, if you are making a shake right now also, and you are using any superfood that I didn't mention in here, because there are a lot of things that you can add into your shake to help with inflammation, gut inflammation, for example, turmeric, ginger as well. But I brought you in here my go-to, the one gut healing shake that I prepare every morning, and it's very simple. Remember to go through this video to learn how to make your shake. It took me a little bit longer because I wanted to explain to you all the benefits from it, but this takes 1 minute just to mix everything. It's like a super simple go-to protein shake smoothie that helps healing your gut as well. And remember that for more tips for gut health, for gut inflammation, for constipation, for bloating, for IBS, follow my channel so you get the notifications for the lives and for any other video that or any trainings that are coming in the future, any masterclass. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. All bye.